Long before apple pie became a phrase, long before it appeared on postcards, menus, or 4th of July tables, it was simply food. Not a symbol, not a slogan, but a warm dish baked slowly, meant to last. In early kitchens built of wood and stone, apple pie was shaped by patience, by the seasons, and by people who depended on the land more than words. This is not the story of a recipe. It is the story of how something ordinary quietly became American. The story of apple pie does not begin in America. It begins far away, in the mountains of what is now Kazakhstan, where apples first grew wild, long before borders or nations existed. Over centuries, apples traveled west along ancient trade routes, passing through the Ottoman Empire and into Europe. By the 1500s, apples were well established in England. They were not sweet treats or desserts meant to impress. They were practical food. English cooks baked apples inside thick crusts, often without sugar. The crust itself was sometimes not even meant to be eaten. It was a container designed to protect the filling during long hours of baking. Along with apples came spices like cinnamon and nutmeg, rare and valuable ingredients carried from Asia and the Middle East. Fat, often lard, gave early pies their richness. Apple pie, in its earliest form, was never meant to be indulgent. It was meant to endure. When European settlers crossed the Atlantic in the 1600s, they did not come empty-handed. They brought seeds, tools, habits, and memories of home. Among them were apple trees. Before their arrival, only crab apples grew in North America, small and bitter, unsuitable for baking. Settlers planted apple orchards not for desserts, but for cider. In early America, cider was safer to drink than water. It could be stored, relied upon, and shared. Over time, farmers began cultivating sweeter apple varieties, apples better suited for baking, apples that softened slowly over heat. The French, Dutch, and English already knew how to make pies. They had been doing it for centuries. Those old recipes crossed the ocean, settled into new soil, and adapted. By the late 1700s, apple pie was no longer foreign. It was familiar. In 1796, Amelia Simmons published American Cookery, the first cookbook printed in the United States. Inside were 2 apple pie recipes. Quietly, apple pie had found a home. Early American pies were not sweet like the ones we know today. They were hearty, savory, and filling. Sugar was scarce and expensive, often replaced by honey or molasses. Pies were designed to feed families after long days of labor, to provide warmth during harsh winters, and to stretch limited ingredients. During the Civil War, both Union and Confederate soldiers were said to eat pies around campfires. They were portable, familiar, and comforting. In a time of uncertainty, pie was something solid, something that reminded people of home. Today, the idea of apple pie served with cheese surprises many people, but historically it made sense. Both apple pie and cheddar cheese came from England. Early apple pies were often served with custard-like sauces, but at some point, someone tried cheese instead. The pairing endured. Fruit, nuts, and cheese had long been served together at the end of meals, and early apple pie recipes included dried fruits and nuts inside. In the American Midwest, especially in Wisconsin, apple pie with cheddar became tradition. A reminder that apple pie was once savory, grounded, and deeply practical. Apple pie did not become a symbol by accident. In the early 20th century, America was defining itself. In 1902, a New York Times editorial declared, "Pie is the food of the heroic," positioning it as a symbol of prosperity. After World War I, another article claimed that American soldiers abroad could not find apple pie in Europe like the kind they make at home. The message was clear. Apple pie was American. By the 1920s, advertisements were using the phrase as American as apple pie. No one knows exactly where the phrase originated, but it stayed. In 1935, New York and Oregon argued over who produced the best apples. Oregon sent apples to Congress. New York responded by sending apple pies. The message was unmistakable. During World War II, apple pie took on new meaning. American soldiers said they were fighting for mom and apple pie. At home, women shared recipes that worked despite rationing, shortages, and uncertainty. Apple pie became a symbol of stability, family, and something worth returning to. It was no longer just food, it was memory. So, is apple pie American? It did not begin here, but it grew here. It changed with the land, with the people, and with time. Apples took root in American soil, shaped by cold winters and long summers, cared for by hands that understood patience. These trees were not planted for quick reward, but for years ahead, often by people who knew they might never taste the fruit themselves. Over generations, apple pie slowly became something familiar, something expected, something remembered, not because it was extraordinary, but because it was reliable. It appeared again and again, across decades, across states, across families who had little else in common. In that repetition, it earned its place. Today, apple pie is eaten more in the United States than anywhere else in the world. But its meaning goes far beyond numbers or popularity. Its quiet story still lives on in orchards, where the rhythm of the seasons matters more than speed. It lives in rows of trees that bloom briefly, then wait patiently, year after year, asking only for time and care. It lives on in handwritten recipes, folded and unfolded until the paper grows thin. Recipes written without instructions, without exact temperatures, assuming the cook already knows when the dough feels right, when the apples smell ready, when the oven has done its work. These are not recipes meant to impress. They are recipes meant to endure. It lives on in kitchens where time still moves a little slower. Kitchens warmed not only by ovens but by habit, where pies rest on wooden counters or windowsills cooling quietly, where the scent of baked apples settles into the walls, into the curtains, into memory itself. Long after the plates are cleared, that smell remains, gentle and familiar. In these spaces, apple pie is not a product, it is a ritual, a way of marking the end of a day, a way of welcoming someone home, a way of saying that for this moment at least, there is enough. Enough food, enough warmth, enough time. For many families, apple pie was never reserved for celebration alone. It was part of ordinary life, baked after harvests, during long winters, or simply because apples were there and needed to be used. During times of uncertainty, economic hardship, war, or loss, it offered something steady, something predictable in an unpredictable world. As America grew and changed, so did the meaning of the dish. What began as a practical food slowly became a symbol of home, of comfort, of belonging. Not because it was declared so by advertisements or slogans, but because people lived with it. They baked it, they shared it, they returned to it when other things felt unfamiliar. Apple pie reminds us that American history was not shaped only by great speeches, battles, or political moments. It was shaped just as much by routines, by quiet evenings, by meals eaten without ceremony, by families sitting together at wooden tables after long days of work, speaking softly, passing plates, and finding reassurance in simple food. These moments rarely appear in history books, but they are no less important. They are the threads that hold everyday life together. They are how traditions survive, not through force or declaration, but through use, through repetition, through memory. In a world that now moves faster than ever, these stories can feel distant. Modern kitchens are quieter in different ways. Meals are often rushed. Recipes are replaced by instructions on screens. Yet the desire for something familiar remains. The desire to slow down, to remember how food once connected people to the land and to each other. When apple pie is baked today, it carries more than flavor. It carries the memory of seasons observed carefully, of hands that learned through doing, of time spent waiting rather than rushing. In that sense, apple pie is not just about the past. It is a quiet invitation to live differently, even briefly. Sometimes, the truest history does not announce itself. It does not demand attention. It waits, warm, familiar, and shared. Thank you for listening.